can connect your data, analyze it, automate it, all of that using the Power Platform in Dynamics 365. The Power Platform is a really, really powerful tool that is simple to use, and you don't need a lot of experience or developer experience to actually utilize it. And what the Power Platform is, it's actually a business application platform, and it helps produce but it gives your organization the flexibility when it comes to developing your business solutions and how you can make it fit your needs. Now, what the Power Platform does, it actually extends Microsoft Office 365 and Dynamics 365. So you're able to connect third-party services and applications all through a low or no-code automation that's going to help create data-driven applications and customize business logic that's going to improve your business processes, your business systems, and flows. So when we think about who can use Power Platform, it's really anyone, analysts, business users, your IT team, developers, and it's made up of a series of applications that are there to help you create dynamic visualizations from internal and external sources. So we're going to just look at a high level of what each of these applications do. We actually have a whole nother exam and a whole nother fundamentals course on the Power Platform that I highly recommend that you check out. But I just want to talk a little bit about how this actually can interact with Dynamics 365. So the first one, what we have is we have Microsoft Power BI, or Business Intelligence. And this is actually a tool that can deliver insights to help you make fast and informed decisions. So it's taking data and it's taking data and turning it into actions. And what's really cool is you can connect Power BI to literally hundreds of different data sources. And we won't get into the connecting and how to do that in this course. Again, please check out that Power Platform course. But essentially what Power BI does is it connects to a number of different sources, and it helps you collect and analyze data, but then it shows it in a very visually immersive and captivating way. And it really helps you get that interactive insight. So on the screen, what we have here is we have an example of how you can use Salesforce, which again isn't a Microsoft product, Access, Excel, SQL databases, MailChimp even. All of this information is then going to connect into Power BI, and then it's transforming that data and putting out this, I think it's visually stunning, infographic essentially, and allows you to create and share these customized dashboards, and they're interactive, so it's not just a static image. It's really interactive, and so you're able to dig in deeper. And this is really great, especially if you're sharing this data with other decision makers, and it's simple, so you're not stuck with just, regular graphs in Excel or trying to build your own. Power BI does it all for you. And think about all the data that we're collecting, whether it's from your customer service representatives, maybe it's coming from your sales team. All of this is here to then flow into this dashboard. And it refreshes automatically, so you don't have to worry about, creating a new graph. It's automatically pulling from Dynamics 365. And you can even take a look at it on your desktop. You can look on it on an on a tablet. You can look at it on your phone. So it's really great for sharing that data, no matter what device you want to look at it. Couple of keywords that you might need to know for the exam when it comes to Power BI. We have what's called data set, visualizations, reports, and dashboards. So a data set is what it sounds like. It's a collection of data from either a single source or multiple sources that Power BI is using to create visualizations. Now, a visualization, again, what it sounds like, is a visual representation of the data. So whether that's a chart or maybe it's a color-coded map. Then we have reports. Now, reports is a collection of visualizations that appear together. Maybe it's one or maybe it's more. And that can be on one or more pages. A dashboard, the key thing between a dashboard and a report is a dashboard is a collection of those visualizations that is on a single page that you can then share with others. So you might see those pop up on your exam, especially as you familiarize yourself with really anything in Dynamics. Be sure you're paying attention to that vocabulary. The next part of the Power Platform that I want to introduce you to is Microsoft Power Apps. Now, what Power Apps is it's a collect of apps, services, connectors, and a data platform. And what it does, it allows you to create custom applications for your business needs. Now, when I first learned about Power Apps and really the Power Platform, I went, what? Anyone can create apps? Because they're low or no code. You know, you think that you have to be a developer to create an app, but I really encourage you to go out and check out the Power Platform and specifically Power Apps, because you can see how quickly you can actually build out apps yourself. And whether they're model-driven apps, Canvas apps, or portals, they're all low or no code. And just a couple different ways where you can do this specific to Dynamics 365. You know, this is a really great way how to tackle different business scenarios. So, for example, you can build a custom app and flows that are embedded or extend some of your processes in Dynamics 365s. So, if you wanted to then perhaps have a simple check-in that the field service doesn't meet your needs, or perhaps you wanted to do customer service check-ins with your field technicians, you could actually build a customer service app, deploy it as part of your field service, and then your technicians can use it right on the spot. So you're actually able to build these feature-rich applications, but with very little work on your end. So you can be a civilian developer and create these applications to solve different problems within your organization. So the first one we have on the screen is an example of a model-driven app. So this is really an app that you're building based off of data. So this design doesn't require any type of code, and you have a choice of whether if you want to make it simple or complex. So you have complete control over the layout. There is a number of templates that you can use, but essentially it gives you the ability to create different views and different filters. That way you can dive down. Next we have Canvas apps, and this is the one that I really like because it's basically drag and drop, build your own app. So you can use Excel. You can take information that you exported from Dynamics 365 from Excel and actually upload it into the Canvas app developer, and it will use that data to start building the app for you. So this is really great because once you're done building the app, you can actually share it, or where you can run it in a browser or a mobile device. You can embed it into SharePoint, Power BI, or you can even use it in Teams. So these are really, really cool tools. The last one is going to be portals. So this is just another way for you to quickly create websites where you can customize it with different pages and layouts. There's so many different templates that you can use, but this is really great because you can use this for perhaps an employee self-service portal, a customer self-service portal. Essentially, it gives you the ability to solve some of the common business problems that you may see without any type of coding. So definitely Power Apps can be used to solve a lot of problems or enhance some of the business solutions that you have created in Dynamics 365. The next piece of the Power Platform is going to be Power Automate. And this is actually a cloud-based SaaS, so software as a service, that allows you to basically get rid of some of the mundane tasks. If you've used the Power Platform before, you might know this as Flow, but it's actually been renamed to Power Automate. But it basically allows you to automate different repetitive business processes, again, with no or low code. But this is really great because you can do so much more than build simple flows. You can set reminders. You can have data move between systems on a schedule. I mean, I could have it set up for every time I receive an email with an attachment from my sales manager, that it automatically gets uploaded into my OneDrive. You can have it then, or I can, every time I get an email from a specific email address, not only does it get sorted into a folder, but then it also creates an account in my Microsoft Sales, or my Dynamics 365 Sales. So Power Automate is really cool because it can help you increase productivity because you're getting rid of those repetitive manual tasks. It's also really good for data entry because you're reducing that risk of human error. And from a management standpoint, you're no longer having to worry about your team doing the mundane work or the repetitive work. You know, they're able to focus on the strategic work that's ultimately moving your business forward. So here I have an example of one of the automations. So when someone tweets about my company, I only want to see it with users who have more than 100 followers. So if someone only has 2 followers, I'm not interested in that. But I can filter it to more than 100 followers, and then if they have more than 100 followers, add them as a lead to my Dynamics CRM. So that's then getting added to a lead in our sales. And then remember, when we go through our sales process, we can then qualify that lead. But oh wait, it's automatically sending a follow-up email through MailChimp, which again is an add-on that you can have set up. So that's one way how to automate instead of having to, go through Twitter, see who tweeted, see how many followers they have, then add them to Dynamics, and then send a follow-up. You're able to automate that entire process. There are so many different things that you can do with Power Automate, and it can even help with some simple tasks like every time you have a record that's older than 7 days, perhaps like a lead from Twitter that's older than 7 days, you can have it set to delete. That way you're cleaning out your tasks. So it's really a great tool and it will make your life easier. There's a couple different flows or automations that you can set up. So the first one is going to be an automated flow. And essentially, this is something that the flow is triggered from an event. So something automatically happens after a specific event. So for example, you can have a flow that emails you when someone sends a tweet that has a keyword that you specify. So in this example, the tweet is the event, sending the email is an action. So usually with this, we can see like create, update, or deleting are those triggers. Next, we have instant flows, and these are also known as button flows because I think that's a really good name because this is good for automating those repetitive tasks that you wish you could get rid of with just a click of the button. This is really good if you want to be notified, when there's no more check-ins planned for the day, or you want to send out a reminder to your team to join the daily sync. This is really good for those repetitive tasks that you have to do and you just have to click a button. Next, we have schedule flows. So those are ones that you're doing at a specific time. So every day at 5 o'clock, you want to send out a reminder to your team that says, please update your activities for the day. It can be the first of every year, send a Happy New Year's card to all of your clients. this is just an example. It's on a scheduled task at a specific date or at a specific time. And the last one is the business process flows, and we've actually looked at that quite a bit today. That business process flows, that is the sales line, the customer service line, all of the different flows that make sure that your employees are following the steps consistently and in the same order. And the last part of the Power Platform that I want to discuss is going to be the Power Virtual Agents. And we've already had a chance to look at that in customer service. But this is a great way how to make sure that you're able to provide amazing customer service, no matter the time, no matter the day, because you can program a bot with very little coding experience, and you can actually build out a flow on how to respond, and it can actually sync up and create tasks based off of that. So for example, we actually had a customer who uses Microsoft Dynamics 365 and Power Virtual Agents, and they had a chatbot on their website, and they used it for scheduling customer service visits. Now before, if a customer wanted to have their property come out and be serviced, they were a landscaping company, if they wanted them to be serviced, they would actually have to call, speak to a representative, look at the schedule, and get it scheduled. And granted, they were using Dynamic 365 customer service and probably in conjunction with field service, but still, it took time. Well, now using the Power Virtual Agent, they were actually able to simplify that. When a customer logged into their website or logged into the portal, they could chat with a bot, and that Power Virtual Agent, this bot, would actually walk them through and get their appointment scheduled for them. So they would figure out what they needed, what time they needed the agent out, if there's anything else they needed to know, and so the customer got an instant response. But the cool thing is, especially for the technicians in the organization, is all that information then flowed into the field service side of Dynamics. And so we had we either created an account or it was linked to an existing account. The information the customer provided about their lawn or the maintenance needed was then added into the field service, and anything else additional was added. So it was as if they were talking to a real person, but it was pre-programmed through the Power Virtual Agent. And so that is a really powerful tool that can be used to interact with your customers quickly and effectively, no matter the time of day or the day of week. All of these tools on the Power Platform that we've discussed, including Dynamics 365, use something called the Common Data Service. And what this does is it's actually providing a shared data store and basically language for business and analytical applications to use. But what's cool about this is this sharing enables data and applications to span multiple channels, different services, different vendors, because they're built on something called the Common Data Model. And we're going to get to that in a minute. But I want to talk about how the Power Platform is really built on what we call the Common Data Model and the Common Data Service. So essentially, no matter where you're getting your data from, it's all going to flow through the Common Data Model. And it's going to then go into the Common Data Service, and that Common Data Service is shared across Power BI, Power Apps, Power Virtual Agents. And because you have that common data as the foundation, it gives you the ability to build those modern applications, connect everything together. And it really, what the Common Data Service is, it's an engine that allows you to have rapid application development, creation, integration, automation, and all of that is built on the Microsoft Cloud Data Storage. And it takes advantage of so many different processors. I mean, when we think about some of the benefits, it's very easy to manage. it's secure, and it connects with a number of different tools. Now, I mentioned something called the Common Data Model. And what that is the Common Data Model is basically, it's a logical design that has a standardized set of data and entities and relationships. So what happens is instead of, Microsoft calling account one thing, Salesforce calling an account another, JD Edwards calling an account another, Microsoft and their partners came together to create something called the Common Data Model. And so it took a bunch of foundational terms and agreed upon definitions. And so the Common Data Service is basically a database that is sharing different terms, or basically a shared data model called the Common Data Model. So you won't really need to know the differences for this exam. Definitely, if you move on to the Power Platform exam, you will need to know the differences between the Common Data Service and the Common Data Model. But it's important to know that this is really good because it helps with analytics. It makes it so you are consistent across all the different platforms because everything is built on the Common Data Service. And the Common Data Service comes into play specifically when we take a look at reporting. So there's a number of different reporting options in Dynamics 365. You have built-in tools available within Dynamics 365. I know we looked at some of the Power BI tools, but within Dynamics itself, you can create charts, which are really good visualizations of the data. You can then take those charts and place them on different dashboards. And remember, those dashboards are those single pages that are made up of iframes, web resources, basically they're graphical reports. Or you can actually download your reports into Excel, PDF, and then you can set very, very refined criteria for each of those reports. We'll talk a little bit more about reporting in finance and operations tomorrow, but reports in model-driven apps are very, very simple and easy to use. All right, so that brings us to the end of Module 4. We took a look at the Power Platform and how you can connect, store, and report all of your data using Power BI, Power Apps, virtual agents, automating your flows. We also looked at the foundation of the Power Platform as well, which is that Common Data Model and the Common Data Service. And then we just took a very quick look at some of the reports and options that you have within reporting for Dynamics 365. And that brings us to the end of day 1. We've covered so much, and I want to thank you again for joining us for our first of 2 days. Just as a recap, today we took a look at an introduction to Dynamics 365, our 4 applications within the model-driven apps, which include sales, marketing, customer service, and field service. And then finally, we looked at how you can connect and analyze your data within Dynamics 365. Please be sure to join us tomorrow where we take a look at our finance and operation apps, as well as securing your data in Dynamics 365 and different ways to integrate it with programs that you already have in your organization. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you tomorrow.